Hi, today I've got a message for people who have been in war or for people who have been in nations that have been in war for a long time and they have created enemyship for life for thousands of years. Hi, my name is Juliana from Unity of Consciousness, where we help you to achieve personal and spiritual growth. Why am I interested in this topic? I'm interested in this topic because I care about you and about your personal growth. So via personal growth, you will achieve spiritual growth. So I'm going to bring a lot of opinions in here in this particular topic. So this is like a message, but it's like an understanding how things work message. So as I said, this is a message for people who have been involved in wars, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of nations have been involved in wars or have been riddled by wars. So how I understand that? Now, my first point is we all come on this earth to learn and expand our consciousness. So what will you remember at the end life of this earth? And when you leave earth, would you remember that you were a good person? Would you remember that you have learned a valuable lesson? Would you remember that you have raised kids to be peaceful, grateful, to love their families and to love each other? What will your legacy be? My second point is, even for nations that create or stage wars, just remember, the nation themselves, they do not want war. The governments have sustained wars or created wars, not the people. They want your sons to go to war and fight their wars. So the regular person, the average guy or the average Joe, they just want to live their lives in peace. They want to provide for their families food and roof and a good life, and they just want to go about their days. They don't want wars. As I said, the people don't want wars. So if you're mad about something, don't be mad at the regular people. My third point is, so the wars that have happened through all the times, there's only a few causes that these wars will happen. First cause is to control natural resources, and the second point is to control you and me. My fourth point, there is a layer above the two fighting entities or two fighting nations. This layer above will supply both sides with weapon and with money. There's always have been a layer above, somebody who gets profitable from both parties and from these wars. So do not send your sons to wars. The fifth point is, when we come to this earth, know that we are all equal in our rights as per cosmic laws or regulations. There's nobody who's smarter, there's nobody who's lesser or who's dumber. There's no nation that stands above all. There's no nations or nation that stands below all of us. The conditioning, the wars and everything has made us unequal, but we all come as equal in here. Just to add more to that point, is yet although we come equal, yet we can't move and we can't go as human beings or as species. We cannot go and live anywhere in the world. We have to have permission from the government, who in the first place, or from people who are above the government, who in the first place created nations, so created separation, created wars that the nations can be in fight with each other. So that's why We cannot go and move around and live wherever we want to, and we are the only species on earth that we can't do that. Animals can do that. Animals, birds, insects, they don't care about the borders that man has put on this earth. They just go wherever they need to be and wherever they want to be. You know, the big migrations of birds from one place to another place, especially during seasonal changes. They go where it's warmer, and we all have done and studied this in biology. This like a fact, you can go and check that. So we're not saying anything that is really new or very amazing in here. So this is common knowledge, but it just feels like I have got a human obligation to repeat this, especially in this climate where after COVID everyone has got so much poorer, and we've got wars that they've been going around for a little bit, which has impacted our economic climate and our migration and everything. So since will impact the economy, well, that's going to be like a chain effect and will impact everybody. So and also we're the only species on earth that pay taxes upon taxes upon taxes upon taxes. We pay taxes on products that we paid taxes before. So we come with freedom on earth and we just kill it right away. So just keep an open mind to what I'm saying here. I'm not attacking or doing anything. I'm just in here to remind you why we come in this earth, okay? So it is so wonderful for our being, for our brain, and for our creativity to be on earth, because we come on different shape and forms and colors and everything. Can you imagine if can you imagine how boring would be if we had only one single flower on this earth? For example, if we had only, I don't know, white roses, or if we had a hyacinth or whatever flower that you can think in your mind. Now, don't get caught up into the ecosystem of the earth and how they play each other, what kind of part they play on the ecosystem. This is merely a very simple example, just to remind us that our life is so beautiful and so different and so interesting. So imagine if we could have only one animal on earth, so I don't know, or one insect. If we get only one insect, for example, if we get only crickets in the entire world, or if we had only, I don't know, just donkeys in the entire world, because we've got so many animals with all kind of families, of course. But imagine if we had only one single thing, and imagine if we had only one meal in entire of our lives. So if we had just broccoli, let's say, in our entire lives, how boring would that be? Imagine if we had only one single face in the whole world, how boring would that be? Or if we had only one single culture, one single race in the entire world. Imagine if we had only white people or black people or Asian in the entire world, how boring would that be? So that's why I think as a person I celebrate that we're so diverse and so beautiful into our own diversity and uniqueness. So that was my point. So it's wonderful again for our merely being in here, so how beautiful and wonderful we are. My seventh and my next point would be, do not live your lives inconsequentially. Your consciousness having a human experience. So if you love your family, imagine this family to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you're a family of 2 or 4 and you just love your family to death, you do anything for your family. Now imagine this family to be extended as with, let's say, your cousins or your friends, and then go further into neighborhood and go further into a city, a town, a country, a state, then a country, and the entire globe of earth and the entire consciousness, entire universe. Consider universe and the whole consciousness, high consciousness, as your family. Now, if two people or two nations now that are or have been in war for thousands of years, and there have been, I know, a lot of nations that still hold grudges and enemyship for a long time, and they have fostered that and nurtured that into the next generations. That's why we've got so much hatred. Imagine those two nations now, and those two nations are part of consciousness. So what's happening now is, nowadays is disconnection, dissonance, okay? That's why we've got so much issues, because we have disconnected from each other, and we have disconnected from the higher consciousness or from God. So all we have to do is to reconnect again. So imagine how I explained these two nations that have been for a long time, and with grudges and with enemyship. Now, if these two nations are part of consciousness, which they are, but for the sake of the example, now this can be explained. These two nations have been fighting for a long time. This can be explained in simple words and plain words nowadays as when you shoot yourself in the feet, because these two nations are the same consciousness, remember? It is, if they fight in each other, it is like you shooting yourself into the foot, as right hand shoots itself into the foot. Or we are well aware about the autoimmune diseases now. The autoimmune disease is when your immunity attacks you. So this is how you can explain that these two nations or these two people that are a part of high consciousness, they're fighting each other, but they're fighting the same. They're fighting themselves, because they are one part of high consciousness. So I'm going to finish very soon, and so my message for this last point, for my 7th point, is once you think, and you should believe, and because we really are part of a high consciousness, of part of God, then you'll understand, you'll not experience that dissonance or disassociation. So we belong to a high consciousness, and my progress in life is your progress. So let us leave the hatred behind. Let us nurture love, because we really are one. So I'm just going to recap what I have spoken today. So my name is Juliana from Unity of Consciousness, and I have just spoken, and I've just this was like a message to people who have been in enemyship, or nations that have been in enemyship for a long time. We have come on this earth to learn. Earth is a school. Even nations that stage wars, the average guy wants to go on with their days, and the nations do not stage war. It is the government or the laws above the government. So these wars happen for two reasons, most of them, and these are the most important reasons: is to control you and to control resources. As I said, there's a layer above the fighting partners that supplies both these fighting partners or entities with money and with weapons. And we have come on this earth as equal and with the same rights and with the same freedom, but we just kill that freedom in here. There's no person or no nation that is above or below anybody else or any other nation. And we have to celebrate our diversity. We have come as different people, different nations, different faces, different animals. Do not live yourself as inconsequential beings. Your consciousness having a human experience. At the end of the day, we are one single consciousness. We're not alone, but we are connected. We are one. So let's leave hatred behind, and let's foster or nurture love, because we are one. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much